one down if you want. Yeah, we'll just move down. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to invite any county leadership, metro leadership, police leadership, city council leadership, if you'd like to stand up here behind us and show our unity. After I'm done, anyone that feels the need to talk, the mic will be available.
My sunglasses.
All right, thank you for all attending. We called this meeting. We're gathered here today in a show of unity and support for the family, friends, and fellow 587 members of our murdered member, Shawn Yim. Our member was tragically murdered in the line of duty while serving the public, delivering vital transit service. Our prayers are with his family today and about his tragic loss of life. Today is about him. That's what we should be focused on. Tomorrow should be about action that we need to take. This union will start with the following demands: that King County just takes care of the family members. We prosecute this murder to the full extent of the law. We demand isolated and secure operator compartments, AS Regional Task Force on Transit Safety and Security. I got into office in July. I've been talking to all of our local political leaders, been calling for this. It's not a request anymore, it's a demand. This is a regional problem. It can't be solved by one entity. I'm not here to point fingers today. I'm here to mourn the loss of our member and to get everyone on the same page to work for solutions. We also demand emergency funds be directed to greatly expand our Metro Transit Police Force. We need more Metro Transit Police. We've invited, I appreciate everyone coming here at the last minute. We've invited our local, all the local political leaders that could get here, and the Metro leadership. I'll take a few brief questions, and then anybody here that would like to talk. Again, this is about the mourning our fallen member, our prayers to their family, what they must be going through. I don't want to focus too much on going forward, but as long as everyone's here, we do need to talk about that. We do need to come up with solutions. We cannot we cannot wait any longer. 26 years ago was the last time one of our members, Mark McLaughlin, was murdered, and that's when I started here, and nobody that's worked here ever since, it's all been in the back of their mind, when was the next one going to be? And here we are here now with a tragic loss of life, and we need to do something about it. We need to take action now. Thank you. If anyone has any questions.
Could you tell us anything about Shawn?
I don't want to, I don't feel comfortable doing that, other than I believe, and respect for the family, I really don't want to, I don't want to share too much. I know that he was, I believe he was working nights, a daycare issue, you know. His wife working days and him work nights. So that's about all I'd like to say about that.
Are there other folks that are going to speak?
Yes.
Can I ask, would it be okay maybe to ask questions after everyone speaks? That way.
Yeah, that'll be fine. I really want to turn it over to any of our local metro leaders or city and county leaders if they want to show some support and talk about what they might be doing to address this. I'll turn that over now. Dow, go ahead.
Okay. I'm King County Executive Dow Constantine. I got a call in the middle of the night from my deputy executive, a call that you hope will never come, that one of our employees, metro operator, part of our metro family, had been murdered. My condolences, our condolences, go out to the widow and the family of operator Shawn Yim, and to all of our metro family. I saw there in the early hours of this morning Shawn's fellow metro employees determinedly doing their most difficult work with enormous grief and anger and emotion, but doing their jobs for their fellow employees and for Shawn. And I want to commend them for their professionalism. And I want to express my gratitude to all the employees of Metro Transit who make it possible each day for hundreds of thousands of people to get where they need to be, to school, to work, to medical appointments and other destinations. It's their dedication, their hard work to keep our community connected that Shawn was such an essential part of. What happened today, and we do not have all the facts, but we know that one of our own is dead. What happened today is an outrageous act of violence against a frontline public servant. There can be no excuse for it, and we will not accept it. We are working with Seattle Police Department, our own Metro Transit Police, the University of Washington Police, and others to identify this person, to have them apprehended, and to bring them to justice. And in fact, we have a vastly expanded transit security program, which our Metro Transit Police Chief will be able to tell you a little bit more about during the questions. It has been a major effort, but it clearly did not spare us this tragedy today. And I am very committed to you with our Metro employees to take the actions that ATU wants to see happen here. Metro Director Michelle Allison and I met last week about the prototypes for a safer operator space on the buses that we're working with, working to create a prototype along with ATU. She'll be able to tell you more about that effort, which is not just local, it's actually going on with the ATU International. The safety of our Metro employees and our Metro riders is our top priority. Communities expect and communities deserve genuine safety. And although we are not always able to keep what's happening out on the streets away from the transit that operates on those streets, we are doing everything we can, and we'll continue to ramp up our efforts to make sure that transit is safe for everyone, including especially for the brave operators who are out there on the streets every day. We'll continue to work collaboratively with ATU, with all of our other partners, to ensure safety improvements and outcomes for everyone involved in transit. But as the President said, today really has to be about this operator, about his family, and about this tragedy here during a season that is supposed to be filled with joy. I am deeply sorry for our operators, for our public, and for especially the family of operator Shawn Yim, who did his level best over his entire career for Metro Transit. Thank you.
I would like to refer back to that question about Shawn. I really didn't want to be talking about details. I haven't got to talk to the family yet, but I would like to say that Shawn was, I believe he was here since 2015. He was very well liked, loved, and respected. He's going to be deeply missed. I believe we have an operator here that talked to him shortly before his shift last night, so we're all in shock. Michelle, would you like to speak?
I'm Michelle Allison, the General Manager at King County Metro. This morning we lost a Metro colleague in the line of duty, and we know that hearts across all of Metro are broken. We've been in touch with the family, and they're still very much in shock. But even in that moment, they asked how their Metro community members were doing. They asked if other operators were okay, and if people were being cared for. That's a testament to the public service of Shawn Yim. Today we honor our colleague, and we gather with each other for comfort, for support, and for strength. What happened was unacceptable. It's also hard because we don't know all the details, and that can be a frustrating place to be. So I am joining today with the ask to focus on the family and the life that was lost, and the life that was well lived. We will be celebrating and remembering Shawn at Metro today and for years to come. I was there early this morning, and you see the dedication of the Metro employees across the entire system, from our vehicle maintenance crew to our service quality, to first liners, to trainers who heard about it, to show up to support. The impact is felt throughout the entire agency, and we need to care for the entire agency. Nothing is more important to me and Metro than the safety of our employees and our riders, so we will join in the conversation about action and about what to do next. We are proud of the agency we serve the public with and the people who sign up every day to provide necessary mobility services for the people of King County, and we're here to support them so they can be safe while they're doing that work. Thank you for being here and for remembering Shawn and his family, and for joining us in the action that we all need to take as we work to address the safety issues in our system.
Thank you, Michelle. If we could hear, maybe we'll hear from Metro Transit Police and then the county council, if you'd like to talk.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Todd Morrell. I'm the chief of the Metro Transit Police. These are hard times. Shawn is one of ours, and I say that because at Metro we have a special culture here. Police are often an afterthought. We get called after the bad thing has happened to come deal with it, to come investigate it, to come seek justice for our fallen colleague. At Metro, the Metro Transit Police Department are an integral part of the organization. The culture here is special. So in speaking about Shawn, it resonates through my police department. We have lost one of our own. We lost a person who was providing public service, a frontline worker, the absolute backbone of Metro Transit. Nothing happens without our operators coming in every day and providing that essential service to our community. I could sit up here and talk to you about all the things we've done and all the things we're planning on doing, but that doesn't take away the pain of today. The Metro Transit Police are committed to keeping our system safe, clean, and reliable. And I join with the ATU in calling for increased investment in security across the system. I'm happy to take any questions regarding the investigation or Metro Transit Police's role. Actually, I'll pause on that, let the other people speak, and then we'll come back around and take some questions.
Claudia, would you like to speak?
Thank you very much. My name is Claudia Balducci. I'm King County Council Member for District 6, which represents parts of Bellevue, Kirkland, Redmond, and East King County. In case they don't speak, I want to just mention that East King County is well represented here today. I want to recognize Bellevue City Councilmember Janice Zahn and 48th District Representative Vandana Slatter, and I see others here because we rely on and ride and support Metro Transit in East King County as a connector for all of our county and all of our people. I've been a lifelong transit rider. I am, when the weather is good and I don't have to go disparate places, a daily transit rider here. And the Metro operators are my ride. You all get me where I need to go. And you are out there every single day, no matter what time of day, no matter what time of night. I can get a ride where I need to go because of operators. You are professional. You are steadfast. You're out all the time, and you are in a vulnerable position, which just was only brought home in such a tragic way today. When I woke up this morning and saw the news, I was just gutted. I'm extremely sorrowful. We were here in this office last week talking about safety and the need to do more for safety. As the chief said, there have been investments and steps that have been taken, but clearly they are all not sufficient, and we need to really focus in. I hear, as a leader in the county, the demands of ATU. I look forward to sitting down and figuring out how to meet them and how to make sure it is safe for our riders and our operators out on the streets every day. But I also just want to join today in grieving for the loss of Shawn Yim. I don't know if I ever rode his bus, but I've ridden many of them and had many drivers, and I just, I'm so sad at his loss. I offer my condolences to the family and to the entire Metro family and ATU family for this today. And thank you for bringing us together so that we could grieve together. And thank you for starting tomorrow to work on doing better. Thank you.
Gurmai?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Gurmai Zahala, King County Council Member, and I represent the district where this horrifying incident occurred. I'm here to just express my deepest condolences to the family of Shawn Yim. I can't even begin to imagine what it must be like to wake up in the middle of the night and receive a phone call like that. Receive a phone call letting you know that the rest of your life has changed and you're going to be missing a fundamental part of your family. It's very difficult to think about. I'm here to stand in solidarity with Metro bus drivers, Metro leadership, Metro staff, ATU 5A7, Executive Constantine, my council colleagues, my elected official colleagues around the region to prioritize safety on our buses. We all have to contend with the question of, if our bus drivers don't feel safe, can our transit riders feel safe? Can our community members feel safe? And so I will support all of the demands that I heard here today. We will absolutely prioritize the safety of our bus drivers and do everything that we can to work with Executive Constantine and his leadership and Metro leadership to implement safety measures as quickly as possible. I'll end by just saying to the rest of our operators, we see you. We thank you for your work. You put yourselves on the line every day, and we appreciate you. Thank you.
John?
I'm John Wilson, the county assessor, but 26 years ago I was chief of staff to Executive Sims when I got a phone call that Mark McLaughlin had been murdered by a gunman who killed him, killed himself, and took a Metro bus over the Aurora Bridge. My condolences go out deeply to the family and to the Metro family. And I would ask that we all dedicate ourselves to make sure one simple tribute is paid to Shawn. Never again. Never again. Thank you.
Maybe the city council could speak now. We got a representative for Bruce.
Morning, everybody. I'm Greg Wong. I'm Deputy Mayor for Mayor Bruce Harrell for the City of Seattle. And I just want to express on the mayor's behalf and the city's behalf our deepest condolences. We grieve with the family of the operator who was murdered last night. We grieve with the Metro family for all operators, for all who knew him, all who worked with him, and for all who work in the same line of business. At the end of the day, our metro operators are public servants, and no one, whether you're a transit rider, an operator, or just a member of the public, should feel unsafe riding transit. That is the bottom line. The mayor's office has been in touch with Seattle Police Chief Rar this morning. She has assured us they are blanketing the investigation with resources right now, working in partnership with the King County Sheriff's Office, and we'll be ensuring that discussion tomorrow that's to come on how we work together as partners to find long-term solutions. In the Seattle Transportation levy that was just passed, we put $9 million in new resources for transit security and safety, so we can achieve that goal. I know I'm joined here today by Councilmember Saka, Councilmember Rink from our Seattle City Council, and on behalf of the city, we just look forward to partnering in this work. I'd also like to share a number. If anybody has any information about this crime, they can call 206-233-5000. That's 206-223-5000. Thank you.
We have more members from the city council want to speak? Can you go ahead and take turns?
Good morning. My name is Rob Saka. I'm a Seattle City Council member. I represent District 1 in the city. Includes South Park, Georgetown, Pioneer Square, Soto, and West Seattle. I think at the southwest portion of the city. I'm also chair of the city's Transportation Committee. I am here today to offer my condolences, my sincere thoughts, and yes, prayers to the family of Shawn Yim and his brethren in ATU Local 587. What happened this morning was shocking and appalling. There are certain trades and professions where you can expect, unfortunately, a certain amount of danger associated with your job. It's part of the hazards. Policing is one of those, unfortunately. But when you sign up to drive a bus, you should not also be expected to sign up to risk losing your life.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
And I'm so sorry that this happened. Should have never happened. Since I took office earlier this year, I've been beating the drum loudly on the importance of transit security and safety, and will continue to do so. Some people have been telling me, shut up, talk about other stuff. Nah. It's a huge priority for the city of Seattle from a transportation policy perspective. It's part of our broader public safety strategy. We need more people to take buses and trains and get where they need to go safely. But this incident reminds us that there's more work to do. The operators of our transit system are some of the utmost professionals every day, dealing with the public, helping people get where they need to go. And the workforce of our transit system, including King County Metro, they do terrific work. And I want to applaud and celebrate them and thank them personally as chair of our city's Transportation Committee. My goal is to help create a safer environment for all. As we stand here today, learning some of the investments that we've already done in the city. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Wong. Yes, we added $9 million for additional transit safety and security measures on top of the baseline that Metro already performs. And in this most recent budget that we adopted, the City Council adopted, we added $2 million specifically for transit safety and security, behavioral health teams, ambassadors, security, and King County Metro Police. We need the full spectrum of response. Can't just focus on prevention only. Policing and enforcement does play a role and will continue to play a role in our broader public safety challenges, including on our transit system. And I worked with President Woodfill to bring some of that to life in the budget. But the fact of the matter is, the Mayor Harrell's signature is still drying on that budget legislation. It was only signed a few weeks ago, so we have plenty more work to do to implement and then do more. And I heard your excellent call, President Woodfill, for any number of things. I want you to know, from what I hear, all that sounds great, and with something I can commit to right now today is, yes, we need a transit security regional approach. 100%. Let's do that. Also, as part of the most recent budget, we called on increased transparency around some of these security incidents, and also to create the groundwork to do exactly that, to align on a regional safety approach in transit. And so, plenty more work to do. Again, my thoughts and yes, prayers to the family of Shawn Yim. And as we remember his life and his hard work and his legacy and unfortunately his sacrifice today, tomorrow, let us wake up and do the work, roll up our sleeves and be about that action. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Alexis Mercedes Rink. I am on City Council representing Position 8 citywide, and I want to first and foremost offer my sincerest condolences to the family of Shawn Yim, to the King County Metro, as well as to the ATU family. When I saw the news this morning, my heart broke, and then I got on the G line to go to my job at City Hall. Some may know that I haven't owned a car for years. Only recently was that a choice. For much of my time in the city of Seattle, it wasn't a choice. I needed to use the bus to go to work. Our bus operators are essential workers for so many like me who rely on them to get where they need to go across our city. And as a representative representing citywide, making sure that we are able to connect folks across our districts, all 7 districts in the city, is tremendously, tremendously important. And I know I stood in this office just a few months ago talking about the importance of safety for our bus drivers, for our bus operators. And I'm so committed to making sure that we continue that work, we prioritize that work, and I'm encouraged to see so many regional leaders here also taking this call to action very seriously. And I look forward to standing shoulder to shoulder with ATU to make sure that we come up with solutions that will work and guarantee safety for bus operators and for riders. Thank you.
This region will not thrive or survive without public transit. It's a lifeline. Whether you are a supporter of public transit or not, the investments that we're making, what we've invested so far in the future is all going to be for naught if our operators do not feel safe to operate a vehicle, if the passengers do not feel safe to ride it. I've tried to work with the leaders of this area and Metro. I've tried not to get on the media. I don't want to scare people away from public transit, but we've reached a point where we have to go all in. We don't have a choice. We have to all work together. I could beat my chest up here and point fingers and call everybody out and rant and rave. I'm more about let's work together and let's get this solved. It isn't it's not a choice anymore. We can never have this happen again. After Mark's death, we hoped we never would. Let's not have it happen again after Shawn. Is there anybody else that would like to talk? Go ahead.
But I also represent the Sound City Association on the King County Regional Transit Committee for the last 2 years. And when I read the news, my heart was breaking as well. For Shawn, it's such a tragedy, and yet what I came to realize is it could be any one of our bus drivers that this happened to. And as my colleagues have said, being a bus driver as a profession, you should be assured that you can go to work every day and come home safe. And yet right now we know that there's so many things going on in our community and that we are not actually able to make that happen for our bus drivers. So as we move forward in the new year on the Regional Transit Committee, I also want to assure you that we will do everything we can to work on making sure that King County Metro is providing the safest environment for our bus drivers and all of the riders on transit. This is a tragedy that cannot happen again. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jorge Barón, and I serve on the King County Council representing District 4. I'm the chair of the Law and Justice Committee. I also serve council members on the Regional Transit Committee. And I just want to express my profound sadness and condolences to the family of the operator that we lost today. I just want to reiterate what my colleagues have said previously, that we're committed to making sure that we take the steps necessary to make sure this doesn't happen again. And we're going to be working after we mourn the loss of our fellow county employee to work on the steps that are necessary to make that happen. So thank you to all of the operators who provide essential service throughout our region. Thank you to ATU, and I'm committed, President Woodfill, to working with you and everybody else who's here to make sure that we take the steps necessary to ensure the safety of both operators and our riders. Thank you.
Rebecca Saldana, State Senator of the 37th Legislative District, and really here on behalf of the delegation, the Seattle delegation. Representative Santos, Senator Hasagawa are here with us as well as bringing condolences for all of the Seattle delegation, and including Senator Peterson, who's the new majority leader for the Senate. As someone has that sends my most precious and beloveds on the bus every day to get to school, I just want to, first of all, share our condolences and thank you as public servants who are willing to do this job. You have been the lifeline and it breaks my heart, and I want to offer my heart and my condolences and let you know that as we enter into the legislative session, addressing workplace violence is something that we will be doing in our labor committee that I am now the new chair of. It is something that we're looking at is how do we make sure we double down on our investments in prevention, investing in behavioral health, investing in housing and education, and a clean fuel transportation, that bus lines and our light rail are critical in order to be able to see a future that is brighter for our children. But I just want the public to remember and to listen, to honor this fallen bus driver, but to also recognize that when you ride the bus, bring your best selves. We need you to show up for each other in these times. As we're getting into the holiday season, it requires each one of us to make sure that we're taking the time to grieve, to thank ourselves. Our kids still need to get home today. Elders still need to get to their appointments, and to know that we are committed as a delegation to be able to make sure that we are partnering with our King counties and our cities to make sure that we have a public transportation system that works for everyone and that centers the safety of the workers. Thank you, and our hearts are with you, and we will continue to work with you tomorrow and the day after that as well.
I guess I'd like to ask everyone here to stand, and I'd like to have a moment of silence and prayer for our fallen member, Shawn. Thank you. Is there any other county leaders, politicians, or agency leaders that would like to come up and speak that are in the audience? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you so much. My heart goes out to Shawn Yim's family, colleagues, and coworkers. It's a tragic and senseless loss. My name is Vandana Slatter, State Representative of the 48th Legislative District, which is on the east side. And I know I bring condolences from all of the electeds and officials on the east side, as well as my colleagues in the state legislature. I do see Representative Santos here, and I know there will be others that would be wanting to come. As you've heard from so many others here who I stand in solidarity with, you're essential workers in our community. You get us to where we need to be, help us sustain and build our lives. And if we are going to have multimodal transit, we're going to have opportunities for people to get around and to be able to sustain their families, and we need to support transit riders. As a state legislator, I stand in solidarity with these measures to protect people who are on buses and in transit, and hope that we can do the work that needs to be done. And my heart again to Shawn Yim's family and coworkers, and to all of you. Thank you for your courage and for your service.
I would like to point out that to be a public servant, to be a transit operator, a transit employee, we're just not concerned about the safety of us. We are concerned about the safety of the public. We need a partnership with the public. I'm calling on the public to hold all of our leaders accountable and demand action. So we have a lot of them here today. We have a lot of press. I'm hoping that they'll have a chance to talk to you more and let you know what they plan to do about this. This is a start today. This isn't going to end here. Our union will take whatever action it takes. There's nothing more important than the safety of our members and the people we serve. I thank you all for being here today. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much. I'm Kirk Hovenkotter. I'm the Executive Director of Transportation Choices Coalition. And on behalf of transit riders across this region and the state, our heart goes out to transit operators as well as we send our condolences to Shawn Yim's family. This is a tragedy. Everyone deserves to feel safe on a bus, whether you're a rider or a driver. And bus operators are our heroes. They make our lives happen every single day. And so whatever support 587 or our friends at Metro need to help make our buses safe, we're here for you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here. Anybody else want to speak? How about some of our officers? Did you want anything to say? Go ahead.
So I'm Corey. Two things. First, if you're going to ride transit, act like a normal human being. We have a code of conduct, but what happened here this morning wasn't a code of conduct, it's a murder. This local pays a $10,000 reward for the prosecution, any information and the prosecution of this person. That's been a standing reward. We paid it before. So if you know about it, please contact the numbers given, and we'll pay that reward.
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
If nobody else wants to speak, I want to thank you all for being here today.
Questions?
Yes.
Can you ask a couple questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Chief Morrell, can you give us an update on the investigation at this point? And then also, if the suspect has not been apprehended yet, when can we expect a picture of him to be released from the bus cameras?
Thank you. I will speak in generalities. The primary investigative agency for this homicide is the Seattle Police Department. We have a wonderful working relationship with the Seattle Police Department. That is the reason Seattle took primary investigation of that is pursuant to our MOU. The city, the jurisdiction in which the incident happens, always has the right of first refusal. They exercise that right. Metro Transit Police responded and assisted with patrol assets as well as investigative assets. There are photographs of the suspect, and I'm not being coy here, but it is the balance between the investigative integrity and the public's right to know. This is an active investigation where things are still moving quickly. It is reasonable to assume that at some point those photographs will be made public, but in the early stages of this investigation, we have to respect the integrity of that investigation and let that process play out.
So all questions have to go to Seattle Police as far as the investigation?
As far as a criminal investigation, correct.
Can someone answer, did the driver have like a panic button that they could hit if they were in danger in a situation like this?
All of our buses are equipped with an emergency alarm.
Do you have plexiglass?
We do have a plexiglass barrier. It's not enough. It was created during COVID. The ATU International and our county leadership. I'm demanding a closed off area, a more protective barrier. So we have a protective barrier, but it didn't do enough in this case. So we want to seal off the operators from any type of assaults like this. That's what we're working for.
President Woodfill, before we sit down, I want to ask you more about that because everybody was talking about taking action, and for us, we're not in those conversations. So that's one thing that you said, it's a protective barrier for your drivers. What else can stop this? When you say we're never going to have this happen again, we're going to work to, what else can you guys do?
I don't have all the answers. This is societal problems. What I know is we're not doing enough. Okay, we're not doing enough, and I can't come up with all the answers, but we have leaders here that can, and this is bigger than Metro. This is bigger than Seattle. This is the whole community we serve, and so the whole community needs to get involved. And so I need the public to hold all of our leaders accountable and help me with this demand. I mean, I've been asking for it. We need a regional approach. We need a regional task force. I've been asking for it for 5 months now. And tragically, we've come to this point where we probably will get it now. But I don't have all the answers. I do know we need more secure area for the transit operators, and we need more dedicated Metro transit police. Now, yes, that costs money, but we don't have a choice. We can't afford not to invest that money. However, we come up with it. Yes, it's hard to fill police forces right now. I understand that. People actually like to work for transit police right now. So if we can dedicate the money and work harder, I know we're working hard on recruitment. They're trying to bring up their staff to 100%. 100% isn't enough. Okay, I've been here for 26 years. As far as people can correct me if I'm wrong, historically we've had one of the lowest dedicated transit police forces for an agency our size in the country. You know, we've been able to get away with it, you know, sleepy Seattle through the 70s and the 80s or whatever. We can't get away with it anymore. So I don't have all the answers, but I expect our leaders to step forward and work and provide them, and we'll work in partnership with that. But action needs to come.
President, for 587, whether that be informational picketing to walkouts or anything in between?
ATU 587, we will act. Okay, we will act. I'm not going to say today what we're going to do, but we're going to have actions. Now, when we lost Mark McLaughlin, we rented the Seattle Center, and so that we had a ceremony. You know, we had a lot of the buses drive down there. We had a lot of bus operators take their buses down there. We're gonna work to something on that line. I'm not gonna call for an action now. I'm not gonna tell you what we're gonna do, but we're not gonna idly sit by while our members are murdered in the course of doing their job, providing public service.
How long have you been asking for secure compartments?
This issue, the agency and the union have been working on for many, many years. Okay, for many years, a majority of our operators did not want a secure area. They liked interacting with the public. They love with the public, but we're way beyond that now. Our problem is with the manufacturers, getting the manufacturers to actually create these. we have to buy USA to get funds, and they don't want to gear up to actually do this. So our international ATU International Union is pressuring the manufacturers. They're going to come down here and install a barrier. Our agency has ordered a couple of barriers. We're working in partnership in that, but it's too damn slow right now. We're going to have to partner together and do what we can to speed it up. We cannot wait. We need our operators to have more safety. Yes.
These tangible changes, they're going to take time, like you just said. So how do you ensure public safety today for your drivers and people taking transit, and for you or anybody else working?
Yeah, don't ask me. I can't provide that. You know, all these people up here can provide it. All I can do is demand it. I can't provide that.
Let me pose that to Executive Constantine at the top of the county. A lot of these things will take time if they happen. What can you say or do right now to restore public confidence, especially in the wake of the closure of the 12th and Jackson? How do you restore public confidence that transit riding is safe this winter?
Well, first off, we did close our transit stops at 12th and Jackson and Little Saigon because we're concerned, implied, for the safety on our coaches. As far as I know, we have not had that kind of problem in the location where this happened. And my word to our passengers is that transit is, we move hundreds of thousands of people a day with very rarely a serious incident. So transit is, on the whole, a safe way to get around. What happens on the streets can spill over onto transit, and we have to clean up the situation on the streets. That involves interventions, mental health, addiction. I don't know what the situation was with this person who committed this outrageous act of violence, but we're going to find out. Meantime, President Woodfill, in our first meeting after he took office, strongly emphasized safety, and I agreed with him that had to be a priority. I briefed him on the work that we've been doing with Operation Safe Transit, which our chief will be able to tell you more about. We've made hundreds of arrests over the course of the last 7 months since we began that operation. Also arranged a meeting with the sheriff, the undersheriff, and our chief of recruitment so that we could really delve, he and I, into the challenges of staffing up this police agency, which are very similar to those that are being experienced by SPD and others, and discuss what we could do to recruit more people, to attract more people to transit security as a career. I will tell you that money will not be a barrier in security. Every police agency around here has a shortage of people, and we're doing our best to be the top choice when people choose a career in law enforcement. And finally, as I said, I spoke last week with Metro Director Michelle Allison about it is designed more like a train with a separate compartment for the operator. This is something that we are very much bought into, and we in ATU are on the same team, aligned, trying to get the manufacturers and ultimately get the approval for these newly designed vehicles. That is a very direct way to provide operator safety. It is something that, as President Woodfill said, is going to take some time to get done. But I would invite the Chief to come up and say a little bit more about Operation Safe Transit, and then Michelle to say a little bit more.
And so Operation Safe Transit was an initiative, a grassroots initiative, started in May of this year. And it was spawned out of a recognition that through COVID, through staffing, through all kinds of compounding factors, from a law enforcement perspective, we were running out of options. Some arrests, while legal, were not eligible for booking into the King County Jail. So I start this off saying that I am not offering that law enforcement is the panacea. We are not the cure-all for everything, but we do have a very defined role in transit safety. So in preceding May, starting about March, it was a collaborative effort between Metro, Sound Transit, Executive Constantine's office, the prosecutor, Department of Adult and Juvenile Detention, raising this issue, saying that basically our stance from law enforcement was when everything else has failed, when we have offered the referral, when we have offered the community-based service, when we have offered all the things and the individual is not amenable to those options, we need a law enforcement resolution. We cannot just walk away and leave the problem as it stands. Thankfully, with the cooperation of all of those entities, we removed barriers for what we call unlawful transit conduct, code of conduct, everything from creating disturbances on bus, using drugs on and around the bus, weapons violations, things of those nature, all became eligible for booking into the King County Jail. I want to really emphasize the fact that we are not advocating that everyone needs to go to jail for everything all the time. Sometimes there are other avenues we can get a tenable resolution. But what was missing from that equation was that backstop of traditional criminal justice metrics. When everything else had failed, the police have to do something. We cannot just walk away. Since March, we have essentially affected 193 arrests in the transit system. That number may seem alarming, may seem like 193, that's a lot, and it is way more than it was prior to this initiative. But what it has done is reinstated a law enforcement backstop. Again, balancing that against, there are multiple resolutions for these issues, but at the end of the day, when everything else has failed, the police can't just walk away. We need a resolution. So that has been a successful program within my department. It is one that is embraced, and we keep that in balance. We understand Metro's driving and the county's driving philosophy, but we also need to be able to uphold our end of the bargain when everything else has failed.
Those arrests in 193, those include non-criminal code of conduct violations? Or just things that would be criminal outside of us?
So the vast majority, it's about a 50-50 split. There, to your point, half of those incidents would have been crimes, whether they occurred on the bus or not, just by virtue they happened on or along our system. The other half are specific to transit violations. So things that we did not have a traditional criminal justice backstop for prior to May 1, we now have, and it is a tool that we use when appropriate.
Is it possible to, if you having staffing issues, is it possible to get other agencies to help fill in and bring staffing up to where it needs to be?
So that's a great question, and I appreciate you asking that. Currently, we are sitting at 83% staffing, which is up from about 68% staffing when I took this position about 2 years ago. We draw our staffing from the larger King County Sheriff's Office. So the personnel that are selected to come to the Metro Transit Police are existing King County deputies. And we have a very rigorous selection process. Not everyone that says they want to work for Metro gets the privilege of working for Metro. They have to buy into the mission, our ethos, and really adopt the Metro culture. In that, the King County Sheriff's Office is experiencing staffing issues, much like every other law enforcement agency in the land. So we get a fair share out of that. I have the distinct privilege of working for a contract where recruiting is never a problem. I have a line out the door of people waiting to come in, but I have to be a good partner with my other contracts. I cannot take all the spoils and leave our partner contracts without resources. So we work to be good partners and make sure that everyone is able to increase their staffing. Another point I wanted to raise is that even though we're at 83%, that doesn't mean that we leave 17% of the work unstaffed. We are able to fill that internally through overtime efforts, emphasis efforts. There's a healthy work ethic within the Metro Transit Police Department. We are not leaving unfilled shifts.
And I understand, but what I'm meaning is if an operator is, say, like in Auburn needing assistance, instead of having that operator bring that problem back to Seattle, if y'all can't get to them, why can't we work with Auburn to get them to help you get the problem off the bus?
Sure, and I would actually I would respond to that is we use a term in police jargon of stabilize and then will come. So we do work with our partner agencies. If an incident was to happen in Auburn, we would call Auburn and say stabilize that incident, metro actions, and that happens daily. Sir.
I work with the security team at Atlanta Base. First, I want to send my condolences out to Shawn's family. I know him quite well. And I see we're all on one page as far as public safety here, but we need to call out to the public to get them on board, see something, say something. Because a lot of them won't say it because they're afraid of retaliation. But if I, as an operator, constantly go to my chief and constantly tells them this, then it's just me. But if the public goes, then you sooner or later gonna have to listen to the public because they ride these buses. Without the buses, without them riding, I wouldn't have a job. And this is the greatest job ever. I didn't never think I would drive for Metro, but I came here because I love serving the public. But we need to somehow get the public, if you see something, say something. And another thing, we closed 12th and Jackson. Okay, that's fine. It's closed. But what are we gonna do to clean it up? That's the question. You can close all the hot spots, but if you don't clear them out, don't clean them up and reopen them, you see what I'm saying? The same thing. The same thing's gonna happen. We need to clear them out. And I know it's gonna take some time, but the time we're gonna take, we don't want another Shawn. And when Mark was killed, like you said, we didn't want another one, but unfortunately, the times that we live in, we need the public to get on board. We need to clean up these hot spots. And until that happens, God forbid, the problem at 12th and Jackson is gonna exist. And people deserve better because that is one of the crucial stops for people that actually shop, work. It's not fair that they have to walk 3 extra blocks to go to work when there's a stop right here that they should feel safe to get off at.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Amen.
And thank you for your service. Very appreciate it. A couple of points that I want to hit on in relation to the very good comment and also what was articulated by the transit police. We of safety on our system. And so we have 170 transit security officers, and the expectation of that contract, we have 2 contracts with security firms, is that they provide activation and presence on our system, and they also deter behavior that is not part of our transit code of conduct, what we call our ride right behaviors. And so the expectation is that they come disruptive. They disrupt it at the shelters, so it prevents it from getting on the system. If it's on the system, they can escort people off of the system, hold folks accountable for that, so that we know the resources of our Metro Transit Police are limited. So we're really asking that resource to play a key role in providing presence, asking operators if they're okay, doing walkthroughs along the system. We can do more of that. That is a really important part of our system. We see through our data that activation of our transit security officers, as well as the targeted work of Operation Safe Transit, is moving the needle, and we need it to move faster, to the President's good point. I would also offer that we are rolling out a refresh of our Ride Right, so it does have a more public-facing component to it, so we are engaging and asking our riders to join in us in the safety conversation with us so that they can help identify areas that do need work. We look at every single customer feedback part that comes into our system. We scan it, we see with the information that comes from the field, from our field workers. We put that information together to help us with our deployments for those safety areas in our system that need a little bit more focus. So we do want to ask the public to join us. They're the riders of our system. They see it firsthand along with our operators. It's a powerful tool for us, and we're going to continue to find ways to use technology to make it easier to talk to us in real time. So that is something that we are going to do.
And related to 12th and Jackson, I just want to appreciate and agree with the point that the riders in those communities deserve safe transit. And our goal is not to walk away from that neighborhood or that service, but to make it safer and then to get more service. What we also know about transit is when you have activation and you have presence, it's also safer. And there's a cleanliness component to it. If there's more riders moving in and around the system, people are looking out for each other, and it is a safer experience. So we are going to be doing work on multiple swim lanes with that 12th and Jackson conversation. We're working with behavioral health teams. We're working with the City of Seattle. We're working with our Metro Transit Police, our facilities folks, to do that both and conversation that we know we need to do. We need to work to disrupt the current environment that's there, to provide that presence and that expectation of ride-right behavior so people know that they have to obey those principles of transit conduct, hold people accountable to that, and reinvest service so that people are activating that space once again. These are really important aspects to us because we know they work. We've seen them work in our own system, and we see them work across the country. So there's a cleanliness, a safety, and an activation, all that have to play together from our partners and us as an organization.
President Woodfill.
Yes. Is it okay if I just address the 12th and Jackson? Yeah, it's come up a couple times. So I really appreciate the points you made. 12th and Jackson, and I'll be honest, safety is not just a transit concern, it's a community concern. It's a city concern. We're very centered today on the family, on the HEU brothers and sisters who are impacted. But we're concerned every day with that and the seniors in the neighborhood, the students who go to and from the schools on the blocks around our communities. And so we are investing our resources and targeting them in ways, what Michelle just mentioned, and thinking about how do we do this in a multi-pronged approach. We need law enforcement presence. We have SPD out. We're working with King County as good partners on that. How are we working with the community to activate those spaces, to keep them clean? And we're doing that intensely in the 12th and Jackson and Lower Saigon neighborhood right now. Those things do take a little time, but we're doing them every day, and we're in those conversations. So it's something we're committed to, and we won't stop until it's fixed.
12th and Jackson. I was a 13-year transit operator. I drove by that stop daily. The 7, the 9, the 14, the 36. As president of this union, and our members, we all recognize how vital a stop that is. Nobody wants to cut off service. Nobody wants to cut off communities. Nobody wants 12th and Jackson closed. I know the city and the county and the Metro leadership have been working on that behind the scenes. It just wasn't fast enough for me. I did put out a call to shut that down, and I appreciate the leaders stepped up and shut it down. I do expect it and hope it to be temporary. I do expect we take the actions to make that safe, whether it's 24/7 police presence. I just don't want this union to be labeled as somebody that does, as a union that doesn't want to serve a community, that is afraid to serve a community. We are all about restoring that service, but it has to be safe, not just for us, but for the passengers. April, would you like to speak?
Good afternoon. Thank you for giving me a few moments. My name is April Sims. I serve as president of the Washington State Labor Council, AFL-CIO, which is the umbrella labor organization in Washington State, representing more than 600 locals and over 630,000 unionized members across this state. I want to start by expressing my condolences to Shawn's family and to those who loved him. I also want to express my condolences to his ATU siblings, his brothers, sisters, and siblings in this work. I want to take a moment to recognize and thank the transit workers that are still providing critical services today in this moment amid this horrific event, knowing that the perpetrator has not yet been brought to justice. So a moment to recognize their sacrifice and their work. The labor movement has long held a fundamental and deeply held belief that an injury to one is an injury to all, that we are indeed each other's keeper. And so I am here in solidarity with ATU 587, with all of our ATU locals and transit locals across the state, in solidarity with the fight for safer working conditions and an end to workplace violence. And I want you to know, Greg, that the Washington State Labor Council and all of our affiliated unions stand with you in this fight today and in the days to come to ensure that no worker has to risk their lives in order to put food on the table and take care of their families. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greg, real quick, you mentioned that the last time a Metro bus driver was killed was 26 years ago. Was that the only other time, or were there any times before that that you're aware of?
That's the only other in-service murder of a transit, a member of our union that I'm aware of. Paul's been here a long time.
There were a couple of drivers killed for their change, and that's when we had the change to exact change only. Used to carry $100 in change. Drug addicts killed a couple of operators for that.
And that was prior.
That was back in the 1970.
Thank you for the clarification.
I would like to mention this was a hasty call thing. We do have some transit operators here, if any of them want to come up and talk, but also they'll be available over here afterwards.
I have a question to Ms. Allison. Piggybacking on what Ms. April was talking about in regards to family and support as far as drivers and everything else, what does Metro have for the drivers available as a team to come out and work with the drivers that are coming in off the road and freaking out?
Absolutely. Thank you for that really good question. And I also want to just appreciate that this is also a really important conversation within Metro. Metro is a really close-knit community, and when something this significant happens, it reverberates and impacts everybody. And many people inside of Metro have raised their hand to be part of our CISM team. It's a peer-to-peer confidential work group team that's made up of members in every work group and at every base, and they're there to provide support. Events like this can also trigger trauma in operators if they've had scary situations in their own career, so they might need to process this in a different way with some confidential support. That CISM team is available. King County also offers EAP support for folks, and we will have on-site counseling available for people for a period of time. This is not a one-day support. This is over a period of time because people process differently, and information will come out and emotions will come out that we need to have a safe space for. So EAP is also there. Also, we've asked our organization to be out in the bullpen, to ask people how they're doing, to give some grace for folks who might need a minute, to sit and have a real conversation about how this is impacting them and their day-to-day experience in Metro. So we also hope that that leadership and that people leadership support will help you make those connections to CISM if that's what you want to do and to choose to have that conversation. There's telephone numbers available. Call it, and within 24 hours, someone's going to call you back. And we also have ongoing mental health and supports for you as you start to process this very challenging experience. Thank you for your question. I appreciate the plan.
I see Lisa's here. She was here when Mark was murdered. Would you like to say anything, Lisa?
Yes, Mayor.
My heart is very heavy. For those of you in the room that know me, you know that I share my love with my coworkers and the public and have for 32 years. When I heard the news this morning, I remembered 1998 when Mark McLaughlin was murdered and the services that were held. I didn't want to go through it then, and I don't want to go through it now.
Amen.
Thank you to everyone who came. And I want you to know that I'm counting on you to do everything that you can to protect me, my coworkers, and the public. And I will do everything within my power to work on that. Thank you.
Amen.
Anybody have any more questions? All All right, well, thank you all for being here.
Thank you.